So what's going on, everyone? How's everyone doing? Now, today I'm going to do a review on Joe Budden's new album called No Love Lost. Now, I've been a Joe Budden fan, I gotta say, since 08, 09 maybe. I say 08, but I've been a fan for Joe Budden for a while now. And over the years and over his, past projects, you got a lot of things from Joe Budden, whether it was storytelling, him talking about his personal life, a lot of things, Like one of my favorite songs from Joe Budden, I said in a previous top 5 video, was like one of the song's Exes. The song goes into detail about his depression, but him trying to label his depression as a girl, and it's an interesting song. But off that, let's talk about the album. Now, this album to me was a pretty dope album. Now, if you've been following the Slaughterhouse and following their interviews that they had before this all happened, Joe Budden was like, he's going to be the first person out of Slaughterhouse that would come commercial. If there was any other artist in there that would, that you would say would go commercial first, it would be Joe Budden. And he said it his own self. So, at first I'm thinking, okay, I'm hoping it's not going to be what I think it's going to be, which is too commercial, him trying to appeal to a lot more people just to, maybe gain money, gain something out of it, which is fine and all, but, keep yourself, which I got from this album, which I'm very happy with. Now, just to keep it short and sweet, I'm going to break down this, give you my thoughts on, why I liked it, maybe some things I didn't like about this, all the other good stuff. So, let's get started. Off the bat, you're getting 17 tracks, and off these 17 tracks, you're getting features from Bangz, Wiz Khalifa, French Montana, Juicy J, Fabulous, Twister, Tank, Lil Wayne. You're getting a bunch of features, even some people from Slaughterhouse, such as Royce, Crooked Eye, Joell. You're getting a bunch of features, which is something different if you're a Joe Budden fan and you've been listening to his past projects, mixtapes, albums, whatever. He really doesn't collaborate with much people, and out of those people, you're more likely to see a feature from, SLV, E-Manny, and Lloyd Bangz. Besides those Slaughterhouse group, you're more likely to see a feature from those people, less likely with other people that he has worked with on this album, such as Lil Wayne, French Montana, Wiz. So these are a whole different people that he's bringing in to work with for this project, which, to me at first, I was thinking it's a bad thing, but after listening to this album and really sitting back and relaxing to the tracks and understanding them all, it kind of fit me. But the only thing that didn't fit me as well was the 2 features on it was Juicy J and French Montana. Maybe it's a personal issue, me not feeling the artist, but I can't get with those 2 features. So those verses I may have to skip or whatever, or maybe over time I like it, but forget all that. Now, to start off this album, he goes with Our First Again. Now, this to me, at first, to me, it kind of talks about or symbolizes that it's his first time again being on another label, his first album that he's putting out from another label. It's his first time again, like he gets a second chance to do it again, get his first impression, all that other stuff. That's what I got from the intro, which was a pretty deep intro, and he comes in with the prayer, to bring you into the next song, saying, God grant me the serenity for the things I can't change, and everything like that. So I really liked how that intro really introduced the album, got you started in it, got you interested in it. I really like that. And then into it, he hops into the song called Top of the World with Kirko Bangz. Now, I'm not really a big fan of him, Kirko Bangz, but on this, I had no problem with it. I felt like he fit the song. I gotta give it to Joe Budden. Throughout this whole album, I couldn't say Joe Budden had a whack verse. Every verse had meaning to it. If you really listen to it, some of the verses where he's pretty much touching on, or talking about his girlfriend, Kaylin. So, I gotta say, every verse pretty much on this album is basically either, if it's a love song, it's basically talking about her and his experiences with her, and other things. He's talking about his past, how there's no love lost, or how people have been with him when he's, popping mollies or injecting himself with syringes and doing a lot of things where people were around him, but they didn't help him, or they didn't try stopping him, but they didn't do anything, such as songs like Castle. It's a really deep album when you get past the 3 or 4 songs that are in there just for more radio play songs, such as NBA, or anything like that, or She Put It Down. After you get through that, that's when I feel like the album really picks up and really kicks off to the Joe Budden that I wanted to hear, and I wanted to, get more into what's been happening, what's up with Joe. You got a taste of that on the album, on the mixtape a little bit, But on this album, it really dug deep. Now, I gotta say, like I said on the mixtape, you know, off the mixtape, that whole new sound I was talking about, it translated into the album. And off the mixtape, you got one song called All in My Head with Voice to 5'9", which was also going to be on the album. So, you know, you got a sneak peek of that track. But you got to say, the whole new sound of the new sober Joe Budden is the stuff that, you know, I thought I would miss the Joe Budden that was really maybe dark, more, nothing against Joe, a little bit more depressing, you know, things happening. But I got to say, I like the sober Joe a lot more. It's a lot more interesting listening to Joe Budden when he's sobered up and he can explain and kind of examine the things that he's been through and looked at through his life. And, you know, even getting skeletons with Joell was talking about selling drugs to a pregnant lady, or, you know, Crooked Eye going in and how he was on the XXL cover drunk, or, you know, it's some of these tracks that really dug deep where I was really feeling how they didn't just, you know, talk about the regular stuff like any rapper would do. They really dug deep into stuff that we as fans didn't know about. Now, another thing I want to touch on is instrumentals. Now, I want to talk about the last few instrumentals where it really got more lively, like it was like a live band, more acoustic-like, and such as songs like Runaway. I think the song My Time, where it's like a live band, or if I'm not mistaken, if it wasn't My Time, it maybe was No Love Lost, one of those songs, you know, where it got like a live band type of feel. I'm not sure if it was actually recorded with the live band, but if it was, you know, that's dope. And Joe Budden always sounded better when he had like a live band. If you ever seen his videos where he's at a concert, or his past few concerts, he's been actually doing live band stuff, which to me, you know, I can't wait if he ever comes to where I am and he does a live concert with the band. I'm definitely going. The thing is dope with Joe Budden, you know, it fits him. You know, the emotion he gives off through his lyrics, and then the stuff you get with the band, I can't explain it. It's some dope music when you have Joe Budden in a live band playing. But just to simply sum this album up, this is Joe Budden when he's in his happy moments, you know, his sober lifestyle, you know, when he's at a good point and a good time in his life, which to me, like I said, I like it a lot more better than what you got from Mood Music, which I wouldn't mind seeing another project. But, you know, seeing Joe Budden in a different light, he's not more into that whole dark stuff. You know, you can even tell with his music, he's a lot more happier. You know, I gotta say, half this album, maybe even a little less than half, basically touches on Kaylin and him talking about her, such as songs like You and I, Sexual Positions, I think it's called. They even had an interlude where it's called Role Play, which I'm not sure if that was Joe Budden in it or what. But, you know, less than half, or half the album, whatever you want to call it, you know, basically had him touching on Kaylin. Top of the World, I think, had some experiences that he had with Kaylin in a strip club. A lot of things touched on that, and then stuff touched on his past life and his past. As a Joe Budden fan, I can't say that this album was a disappointment. You know, for me, this album isn't what I, you know, was expecting from Joe Budden when he was talking about him being the first commercial artist. This is, you know, I would say better than what I was expecting. You know, I was expecting a lot more radio hits or radio friendly tracks. You know, I really liked how he touched on it. He put some tracks on here. He did a remix which he put it down. You know, but he kept it. Also, he gave you also tracks about, you know, him and Kaylin if you want that. He gave you stuff about, you know, what's been happening over the past years, you know, with his whole drug addiction, you know. So I gotta say I'm happy with that. But enough talking, because it's getting too long. I'm just gonna hop into my top 4 songs because I like this so much. I'm gonna give you guys 4 songs I was feeling personally off this album. So my top 4 songs would have to be Castles, No Love Lost, Top of the World featuring Kirko, Bangz, and also Skeletons featuring Joell, Ortiz, and Crooked Eye. And for the most part, you know, I enjoy this album. You know, besides the 2 features that maybe it's a personal preference, but I can't feel French Montana and Juicy J on this. You know, so with that being said, I'm feeling like I gotta drop this album with I'm feeling a 8.5. So I gotta give it up to Joe Budden. It wasn't what I expected. It beat my expectations. You know, I was expecting this, and he definitely jumped it up there. So I'm happy with the album. Make sure you pick it up on iTunes, whatever you know, I'm making sure I do that also. And, you know, tell me your thoughts about the album. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Was it the Joe Budden you're expecting? Were you expecting a lot more, a lot less? Give me some tracks you were feeling off this, all the other good stuff. You know, I'll just share a few of my thoughts. I gotta say, it was a dope album. I'll be playing it from, you know, months to come, and always looking forward for new Joe Budden mixtapes, albums, whatever he has coming in the future in 2013, maybe not even in 2014, whatever mixtape album he plans on dropping. You know, I'm looking forward to it. So with that being said, share all your thoughts on you liked it, didn't like it, what do you rate it, your top song.